If you've been trying to apply for a small business line of credit and you've been rejected over and over and over, in today's conversation, I'll give you the tips you need to actually stop that streak of losses, of denials, and frustration. Because there is actually a very important trick you need to understand. There's a formula for success that will get you back on a streak of positive decisions. Okay, you get approved over and over and over. So here is the overview you need to understand. Let's first go back to business line of credit 101. What are we talking about here? So a business line of credit, really, it's kind of similar to a credit card. So you have access to a level of a cash, okay, a pool of cash, and you can tap into this capital over and over and over. So you tap into it, you pay it back, and the line of credit replenishes itself. Very easy. So instead of receiving a fixed amount of financing like you would with a business loan, a business line of credit gives you access to a certain amount of money, which you can borrow from, repay, and borrow from again. So nothing really complicated here, right? But what becomes very not complicated, but what becomes interesting is, what if you had a startup? What if you established your business 3 months ago, 6 months ago? Because see, a lender will actually base their business line of credit decision based on your business's fundamental financial information. So if you have a startup, chances are you don't have a sturdy, a stable, a strong financial information for financial, I would say financial structure yet. So how do you get approved for a business line of credit? Well, this is where you have to think about things like business plan. You have to think about your financial projections, because what you have to constantly do is you need to paint a positive picture about your business no matter what. I'm not saying you have to lie. I'm just saying that you have to see what you have to tell a lender how you intend to monetize your business, how you intend to generate revenue, how you intend to take care of cash flow, cash inflows, cash outflows, how you intend to generate revenue consistently over and over and over. Okay, so a business line of credit works in a very simple way. So you tap into the cash, you repay it, and you tap into the cash again. Now what will happen here is that the lender will constantly review your account to see if they should renew the business line of credit or actually stop it. Let me give you a few pro tips here. So when we talk about getting approved for a small business line of credit for a large limit, no matter what, whether you have bad credit or fair credit, you can still qualify for a small business line of credit. Now, it's really important to understand the pros and cons of this type of credit products before you actually commit, right? Because if you were to commit without knowing exactly what you're getting yourself into, you are going to make bad, crazy mistakes. So information is power, boss. So what are the pros and cons here? So in terms of pros, when we speak about a small business line of credit, you have a credit product that allows you to expand your business when opportunities arise, right? Have you seen anything in the market? Is a rival having difficulties? You think you can repay a rival? You can buy a rival over? Hey, it's a business opportunity. You can seize it if you have a business line of credit. And a business line of credit also offers working capital when you need to pay bills during a slow period, right? If your business is currently lethargic, monetarily speaking, if your business is going through a period of yo-yo, banks are filing for bankruptcy, the economy is going down, the stock market is nosediving, so to speak. People are kind of scared. People, everybody, all the news media are scaring the hell out of you. If you have access to a line of credit, that could really help. You are able to meet your financing needs without paying interest on money you're not using. Okay, let's say you are renovating your commercial space. You might need $50,000 now, $7,000 in 6 months, and another $12,000 next year. And a line of credit lets you get the cash you need when you need it, instead of paying interest on a lump sum of money you won't need for a while. And here are the cons you need to pay attention to when you think about a small business line of credit. You'll have to make a monthly payment. If you don't budget in that monthly payment, you may struggle to pay it, which puts you at risk of defaulting on the line of credit. If you made a personal guarantee, you'll also risk your personal assets being seized if you can't pay the loan or line of credit. Okay, so depending on what type of financing you qualify for, you may end up paying higher interest rates. And if you run a startup that hasn't been in business for 2 years or doesn't have a strong credit profile, you may not qualify for the best terms. Here is the bonus that I really want to share with you, boss. See, when we talk about having a small business line of credit with a large amount approved real fast, no matter the credit score you have, you need to understand that this kind of product can help actually scale your business, can help you scale your business, can help put your business on the competitive map, okay? And it's really important to understand that a business line of credit, when actually used properly, has many strategic benefits. Let me give you a few examples of scenarios where your business may benefit from a business line of credit. So let's say you run a business and that business has seasonal fluctuations. You have cyclicality, you have seasonality. So you have to deal with that. Perhaps your sales take a dip in the summer or winter, for example. And so a line of credit will help during periods of slow sales. I just said it earlier. If your business is currently in a lethargic zone, monetarily speaking, this lethargy, you can combat it with a business line of credit, because cash is not coming in, because revenue is not being generated. You know times will be good real soon, but if right now you are struggling, a business line of credit will help you actually make payroll, will actually cover payroll, will cover inventory, will actually cover a couple other things. Okay. If your clients take weeks or longer to pay you for products or services you provide, you might need a line of credit to cover business expenses while you wait to get paid, right? So customarily, you know that the clients want to have net 30, but some clients might say, listen, we need net 60 or we need net 90 terms. Now, net 90, that's a long time. I mean, 3 months, that's a long time. Who's going to pay for who's going to cover payroll in the meantime? Where are you going to get the cash to cover payroll, to pay for everything, to pay for rent? If no cash is coming in, now that money is going to come from a business line of credit. Okay, that's what it's for. Let's say you can also use a business line of credit if you land a new client and you need extra capital to cover the cost of labor and or supplies. A business line of credit can cover expenses during production, okay? Or let's say you have the opportunity to purchase equipment or inventory at a reduced cost, okay? And so you can cover the bill with your line of credit while you wait for cash flow to catch up. So really, really great, okay? So now let me give you the steps you need to follow here if you are trying to get a business line of credit real fast. Again, I want to insist on the fact that it doesn't matter whether you have good credit, bad credit, fair credit. It doesn't really matter. There is a formula for success, and you got to follow this formula, let's say, consistently. Now, we call it 3x3. So you have three things the three things that lenders pay attention to. And there are three things that you have to do to qualify for a business line of credit real fast. So 3 things that lenders think about and 3 things that you should think about. Let me first start with the 3 things that lenders think about. So lenders think about the time in business. So lenders want to pay attention to the time in business, number 1. Number 2, they pay attention to personal credit score and or business credit scores. That's number 2. Number 3, the lender pays attention to your company's revenue. Okay, so those are the 3. This is the trifecta the lender is considering on your business side. On your personal side, the lender is looking at those are the 3 things the lender is paying attention to, whether it is on the business side or personal side. Now, you who are listening to me right now, if you want to apply for a business line of credit and get approved, you should think about 3 things yourself. Think about your business plan. Think about your company's financial statements, and most importantly, you want to think about your industry trends. Let me repeat that: your company's business plan, your company's financial statements, and your industry trends. You're probably in a sector where you have the sector is rising, like you have rosy economic trends in the sector, or you have a sector that's kind of gloomy, right? Are you growing? Is your sector growing, or is your sector in an economic decline? I'm not saying that if you are in a declining economic sector, you're not going to get a business line of credit. It's just that once you know where you are where you're setting yourself up to, you can really come up with the best situation, the best strategy to actually show the lender that you are ready to actually qualify for a business line of credit. Make sure you have a business plan. Make sure you have financial statements, all the four: balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, and owner's equity statement. Let me give you an approach that will help you understand the small business line of credit hacks even better. See, the whole thing is, when we talk about a business line of credit, there are layers, there are levels of funding. Okay, so you have a small business line of credit, you have a regular business line of credit, and then you have a commercial line of credit. Now, a commercial line of credit is just another term for a business line of credit. They are the same thing. The difference here is that commercial lines of credit tend to actually offer you more funding. So the funding pool is larger. So if you get, let's say, a business line of credit that caps the line amount at $250,000, for a commercial line of credit, you could potentially get millions of dollars. Okay, and the thing is, now obviously you don't have a lot of banks and credit unions or even alternative lenders that can grant you a commercial line of credit. What we know from experience is that only big banks and regional banks can grant you a commercial line of credit. Okay, and it doesn't matter whether you are a small business or a large business. You can qualify for a commercial line of credit if your revenue and company's financial information overall warrants or justify or corroborate, if you will, that amount of working capital. And so you have big banks such as Wells Fargo, Chase, you have Citibank, you have Bank of America that offer a commercial line of credit. You also have the regional players such as PNC, such as US Bank, such as Fifth Third, such as BMO, such as you have TD Ameritrade, you have Capital One, so you have Citizens Financial, you have First Citizens Bank, you have M&T. Those are players that can actually offer you a commercial line of credit. So it's really important to understand that. Okay, so the easiest business line of credit to get depends on the relationship you have with the lender. So it's just a lot better to get a business line of credit from the bank with which you have an existing relationship. So it's always good. We always advise our viewers, if you have a business, you want to maintain business banking relationships with at least two banks. Don't put all your eggs in the proverbial same basket. No, you want to diversify so that when it comes time for funding, you have the ability to reach out to at least two players. Okay, so this will be very helpful to you in the long run. Let me talk to you a little bit about the best business lines of credit. Okay, so you really have a clear idea about what's available out there. And so when we talk about small business line of credit, remember that you have all kinds of players, right? You have regular banks, you have credit unions, you have alternative lenders, you have online lenders, and your ability to navigate all that pool of lines of business line of credit lenders will give you ultimately the opportunity to actually get the business line of credit you need, and at the competitive terms. Okay, and it's really important also to always consider business lines of credit that actually do a soft pull. It's because the whole thing is you are trying to save your FICO score. You don't want to go with hard pull right away. You want to see if you pre-qualify for something. Do you pre-qualify? If you do, how much could you actually get? So once you have that reassurance that you are talking about the right thing, that you are having the right conversation here, you can actually apply for real, right? But you always want to start with a soft pull, so you know whether or not you could qualify. Let me give you a few players that will actually help you. You have a line of credit by Fundbox. Okay, here you can get up to $250,000. Okay, and you have a line of credit by OnDeck, for example. OnDeck, you are looking at a line of credit that goes from $6,000 to $100,000. You have American Express business line of credit. Here you can get all the way to $250,000. We have a line of credit by Rapid Finance. You can get anywhere from $5,000 to $250,000. You can get the cash the same day. and line of credit by Headway Capital. You can get something all the way to from 5,000 to $100,000. You have the Blue Vine line of credit. You have 5,000 to $250,000. Okay, and so repayment terms vary by lenders, and some lenders want you to pay them weekly, some want you to pay them fortnightly, some want you to pay them monthly, some want you to even pay them daily. Okay, and the APR will also oscillate depending on the lender, but you can go from 4% all the way to 29%, and in some cases 35%. Okay, for example, if you take Blue Vine, they go from 6.2% all the way to 35%, 35.99%. So it really depends on the particulars of the borrower. So those are things I really want you to think about. Before we close today's conversation, it's important to understand that when we analyze a business line of credit and we want to see what we call fitness, monetary fitness, you're trying to run a business, you need to really understand, is a business line of credit appropriate for my business right now? Or should I rather go with the business credit card? Or should I go secured versus unsecured business line of credit? Those are conversations you need to have depending on your company's financial situation, because every credit product, every credit scenario has its pros and cons. Let me just sort of break it down for you. When we talk about business line of credit versus business credit card, now a business line of credit gives you access to free cash, not free cash, but let's say available cash. You have real cash that you can actually go to an ATM and withdraw, right? Something you can't do with a business credit card. You do this, you are going to be slapped with a very high APR, and this is something you definitely don't want to do. So it's really important to understand that even though a business credit card is technically a line of credit, it's important to understand they don't have the same conversation, if you will, quote unquote conversation with cash when it comes to cash. Okay, so this is something you need to pay attention to. Now, if you have suppliers, let's say you have business partners who are willing to take credit card payments from you, then you're fine. It doesn't matter whether you have a business line of credit or whether you have a business credit card, because the payment in the end is the same. But if you have, as we know, most business partners, vendors, utility providers, they want to get paid in cash. They don't want to have to actually go through the whole credit card thing and pay like credit card processing fees and whatnot, merchant fees. They don't want that. So if you don't have those suppliers, if you don't have those vendors who want to have who want to take credit card payments, then you are having a situation, right? And you also need to think about, do you want to do secured versus unsecured? Does your business right now have the proper collateral to pledge in terms of, securing a business line of credit? Because those sort of actions have consequences, because you are basically, once you collateralize the business line of credit, you are pledging inventory, you are pledging business assets, you are pledging property, and this could be a problem if you, God forbid, you were to default, right? If your business defaults on the line of credit, then the bank will actually seize that property. So again, it's all about how comfortable you are with your company's financial information, your company's revenue generation process, your company's revenue generation model. Okay, in other words, are you comfortable that your cash inflows and cash outflows are proper? So you are generating the appropriate delta, the appropriate excess in your cash flow, so that you can actually take care of any payments, whether it is related to a business line of credit, a business loan, or anything else. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about some small business line of credit sort of hacks that will help you get the cash you need, that will help you always win, will help you expand your business. And so just want to quickly give you a recap here. I gave you an overview, the pro tips, the bonus, the steps you need to follow, the approach you need to also follow. And yeah, so thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.